Chapter 7. Managing Change and Innovation. Here's a couple more examples of futuristic thinking. The learning objectives for today are: compare and contrast views on the change process, classify types of organizational change, explain how to manage resistance to change, discuss contemporary issues in managing change, describe techniques for stimulating innovation. Most managers at one point or another will have to change some things in their workplace. We classify these changes as organizational change, which is any alteration of people, structure, or technology. Organizational changes often need someone to act as a catalyst and assume the responsibility for managing the change process. That is, a change agent. Change agents can be managers within the organization, but it could be a non-manager. For example, a change specialist from the HR department, or even an outside consultant, or even an employee. Have you ever been a change agent within the workplace? If so, when? Kurt Lewin, 3-step change processes, is illustrated by Exhibit 7.2. According to Elwin, successful change can be planned and requires unfreezing from the status quo, changing to a new state, and then refreezing. Unfreezing can be thought of as a preparation for the needed change. It can be done by increasing the driving forces, which are forces pushing for change, by decreasing the restraining forces, which are forces that resist change. My question to you: do you normally resist change, or do you go for it? Once the unfreezing process is complete, you can implement change, but then you need to make sure that the change is now part of the culture, processes, and measurement. Managers face 3 main types of change: structural, technology, and people. Changing structure include any change in structural variable such as reporting relationships, coordination mechanism, employees empowerment, or job redesign. Changing technology encompasses modifications in the way work is performed or the methods and equipment that are used. Changing people refers to changing in attitude, expectations, perceptions, and behavior of individuals or groups. In my opinion, changing people is the most difficult because people will come from different backgrounds, attitudes, or motivations. The most popular OD techniques are described in Exhibit 7.4. The most organizational development techniques are sensitive training, team building, intergroup development, process consultation, and survey feedback. Sensitivity training is a method of changing behavior through unstructured group interaction. Team building activities help team members learn how each member thinks and works. Intergroup development affects the attitude about stereotypes and perception that work group have about each other. Process consultations when you use an outside consultant to help the manager understand how interpersonal processes are affecting the way work is being done. Survey feedback assesses attitudes and perceptions, identifying discrepancy in these, and resolving the differences by using survey information in feedback groups. When managers see resistance to change as dysfunctional, what can they do? Several strategies have been suggested in dealing with resistance to change. These approaches include education and communication, participation, facilitation and support, negotiation, manipulation, and coercion. These tactics are summarized and described in Exhibit 7.5. Why do you think people are so resistant to change? If conditions are right, how do managers change culture? No single action is likely to have the impact necessary to change something ingrained and highly valued. Managers need a strategy for managing cultural change, as described in Exhibit 7.6. Changing culture is difficult. You must go well beyond setting the tone through management behavior. You need to create processes, stories, symbols, and rituals to ensure that everyone will understand the new culture. The reward system must be built to support the change that the organization wants from its employees. Personal factors that can create stress include family issues, personal economic problems, and inherent personality characteristics. Because employees bring their personal problems to work with them, a full understanding of employee stress requires a manager to be understanding of these personal factors. Type A personality is characterized by chronic feeling of a sense of time urgency, an excessive competitive drive, and difficulty in accepting and enjoying leisure time. The opposite of type A is type B. Type B don't suffer from time urgency or impatience. Until recently, it was believed that type A were more likely to experience stress on and off the job. A closer analysis of the evidence, however, has produced new conclusions. Studies show that the hostility and anger associated with type A behavior are actually associated with negative effects of stress. And type Bs are just as susceptible to the same anxiety-producing elements. What is your main personality type, A or B? As Exhibit 7.7 shows, stress symptoms can be grouped under three general categorizations: physical, psychological, and behavioral. All of these can significantly affect an employee's work. Physical stress, when the person faces changes in their heart rate and breathing rates, raised blood pressure, headaches, and they have a potential of heart attacks. Psychological stress is when the persons have job-related dissatisfaction, tension, anxiety, irritability, boredom, and procrastination. Behavioral stress can be seen when the persons change their level of productivity, increase absenteeism, job turnover, changes in eating habits, increased smoking or consumption of alcohol. Their rate of speech changes, they're fidgety, and they tend to develop sleep disorders. Have you ever shown any of these symptoms in a job or personal life? What did you do to cope with these stressors? Have you ever worked for a change-capable organization? If so, do they express any of these characteristics? Having creative people isn't enough. It takes the right environment to help transform those inputs into innovation products or work methods. The right environment, that is, an environment that stimulates innovation, includes three variables: the organization's structure, culture, and human resource practices. Have you ever worked in an environment that supported change or innovation? If so, how do they do it? Here are the in-class assignments for today. Here are the optional homework assignments that will help you to prepare for the exam.